All right, now that we have a way to get a shopping cart for the current user, we're ready to add a product to this cart. So in our shopping cart service, I'm going to add a new method, add to cart, that takes only a product object. Let's import the product. All right, here first I want to get a reference to the user's shopping cart. So let cart equal this that get or create cart. Now look at the type of cart here. It's a promise of Firebase object observable. Because we decorated this method with the async keyword, this means this method returns a promise. So in order to get the actual result, which is in this case an observable, we should either call cart.then, but a cleaner approach is to apply the await modifier here and also decorate this method with async. That's better. Now with this cart, we can get the ID and add the product to the cart. But the problem with this implementation is that every time we want to add a product to a shopping cart, we're going to Firebase to get an actual shopping cart. We don't really need to read a shopping cart object when adding a product to a cart. All we need is a shopping cart ID. So I'm going to change this method and return the shopping cart ID instead of the actual shopping cart object. So first, let's rename this to get or create cart ID. Now in this if block, instead of returning the cart, I'm going to return result.key. And here, again, we're going to return the cart ID. Now we can make this code even better. So I want to reverse this if statement. So if we do have a cart ID, we simply return it. Otherwise, we don't need this code block anymore. And we can remove the indentation. Better code, right? So back to our new method, add to cart. Here we get the cart ID. Now we need to get a reference to this product in that shopping cart. So in Firebase, look, here we have a shopping cart. Under this node, I want to add another node called items, which is an array. Now for each product in the shopping cart, we're going to have a shopping cart item. And the ID of this shopping cart item should be the same as the ID of the product. We don't want to generate unnecessary IDs. This makes it easier to quickly look up a product in a shopping cart. So here we want to get a reference to this product in the shopping cart. We need this reference to calculate the quantity. So if we don't have this product in the shopping cart, we're going to create it and set the quantity to 0. Otherwise, we're going to increase the quantity. So to get a reference to this product in the shopping cart, I'm going to call this .db.object. The location is shopping carts. Here we append the cart ID and then items. And here I'm going to use the key of the product as the key for the shopping cart item. So product.$key. Now I have a compilation error because our product interface that we defined earlier doesn't have a property called $key. So let's go to product.ts and add $key as a string here. Now back to our service. So this gives us an observable for the shopping cart item. Now we need to subscribe to this observable to read it. But I don't want to deal with unsubscribing, so I'm going to use the take one operator. So on the top, I'm going to import rxjs, add operator take. Now, back to our method, I'm going to call item observable that take one dot subscribe. So here we have an item. Now these objects that we get from Firebase, they have a method called exists. So we can call if item $exists. Here we want to update the quantity. So we can call item observable, which is a reference to a node in Firebase, dot update. We give it an object, we only modify the quantity property. So we set the quantity to item.quantity plus 1. Now, otherwise, if we don't have an item, we want to create it. So once again, item observable dot set to create it. We could also use the update method. That's perfectly fine. Each item should have two properties. One is the product, and the other is quantity, which we set to 1. The reason I'm storing the actual product object here instead of product ID is because this makes it easier to display all the items in the shopping cart on the shopping cart page. Because in Firebase, unlike relational databases, we don't have join between our records. So I want to have the actual product object here so we can display the image, the price, the title, and other attributes. So this is our add to cart method. Now let's go to our component and use this method. So here we simply call cart service, then add to cart, and give it this product object. And we don't need this line anymore because this method get or create cart is not accessible from the outside. Delete. Let's test the application. So here I'm going to click add to cart. Now back in Firebase, you can see under shopping cart, under this shopping cart, we have items. This is the ID of our product. This is the actual product object. We have all these properties like category, image URL, and so on. And the quantity is 1. Now, if I add this item one more time, the quantity should be updated. So click back here. You can see quantity is updated to 2. Now let's add another item, freshly baked bread. Back to Firebase. Under items, now we have 2 products. And our second product, its quantity is 1. So our add to cart method is working properly, but I'm not quite happy with this implementation, and I'm going to show you how to improve it in the next lecture.